Sharmistha, the Prime Minister whom you just met and the Modi government announced a memorial for Pranab Da, your father, Pranab Mukherjee.
Even if there is a politics behind it, it's a smart move on the chessboard. So far, I don't know today if something has happened, but so far there hasn't been any tweet or any statement about Pranab Mukherjee's memorial from Mamata Banerjee.
Do you think that the Congress has a leadership problem?
Congress is pushing its own away. I don't even want to call it Indian National Congress. This is perhaps Rahul Congress.
You have called the RSS possibly more tolerant than your own former party, the Congress party.
Yes. Today people, when he say that just because he went to RSS, that's why he's a Sanghi. When Rahul Gandhi hugged Narendra Modi in Parliament, whom his mother called Maut Ka Saudagar, by that convoluted logic, then Rahul Gandhi should be seen as an accomplice of Narendra Modi. Some senior, somebody I trust to be very clued in, nobody political, told me that the direction has come from Rahul Gandhi's office itself.
To troll you. Sharmistha, the Prime Minister whom you just met and the Modi government announced a memorial for Pranab Da, your father, Pranab Mukherjee. And of course, you were very moved and you met the Prime Minister to thank him. But a lot of people in the Congress party saw this as a political move because of the timing, because there had been such a fight over a memorial for Dr. Manmohan Singh. How do you look at what's happened? Because it's been a while since Pranab Da passed. This timing, how do you look at it?
Firstly, Barkha, I would like to say two things. I do not understand what is the fight about Dr. Manmohan Singh's memorial. The Congress very justly demanded a memorial for Dr. Singh. And what I read from the papers, heard from the news, that the government immediately responded. So, what is the fight about it? Secondly,
they wanted the funeral to be at the same place where the memorial would come.
But fine, everything probably can't be done or whatever reason. I don't want to get into that. But the main thing, that memorial the government has accepted. So what is the fight about it? Secondly, as far as the timing is concerned, about my father's this thing, the family, we have never written to the government. Or
you never asked for the memorial?
We never asked for the memorial. And in fact, while all these controversies were going on, all these fights, as you say, were going on about Dr. Manmohan Singh's memorial, I received a call from PMO asking me that whether me or anybody from the family has requested for such a thing. So I said, no, we haven't. So that is the time I was told that the PM has decided to, to declare, to do a memorial for my father and also declare it at the same time with Dr. Manmohan Singh's declaration. And that's what I was told initially, and then a few days later, I got this letter from the Urban Development Ministry formalizing. So immediately I sought an appointment with the PM.
What did you say to him, or what did he say to you?
Well, I just profusely thanked him. And because it was so unexpected, and he did it on his own. And, I would say it's very gracious of him. And he said that, I should have done it earlier. But
he
somehow,
said
he said that I should have done it earlier. मुझे पहले ही करना था. But हुआ नहीं, उनका भी, Prime Minister has got millions of jobs to do.
You weren't upset that this didn't happen earlier?
No, because as I say that, my father has received enough love, respect, recognition in his life while he was there. For me, that is far more important.
Do you think it would have been better if a memorial was announced alongside for Dr. Manmohan Singh and Pranab Da?
So that I was coming to that. So I don't know why. Then when I went there, so I was told that as you are coming to meet the Prime Minister, you can announce it. Later, through some other source, I came to know through some other source, not from PMO or something like that, through some other, that there is a there are certain formalities. You need a formal consent from the family. So it seems for some reason there was a delay in the consent coming from Dr. Manmohan Singh's family. That's what I was told by this person. And so maybe that's why the delay is there. And now that delay, we do not necessarily need to involve everything with politics. We did not, it could be the Dr. Singh's family will be under tremendous grief at this stage. And they have lost their father, the husband.
Of course.
So, these kind of things, making politics out of memorials, it's, I think, pretty disgusting.
A Congress member of parliament went on social media and he said that Pranab Da's memorial had been announced because he went and bowed his head at the RSS headquarters. What do you say? When you saw that, what did you feel?
I didn't see that. I was pointed it out by the media only.
Yeah.
So in that case, Pranab Mukherjee went to RSS, I think in 2018. He passed away in 2020.
Yeah.
So by that logic, then immediately, it should have been done. Then if that is the reason, then why wasn't it done immediately after his death? Why after so many years? And, Barkha, as far as my father's memorial is concerned, even if there is a politics behind it, for whatever reason, but I would think it's a good politics.
What do you mean?
Gracious politics.
Explain.
It's a smart move on the chessboard to push your opponent in a corner if there is a politics involved. It is much better than Maut Ka Saudagar and Shamshan Ghat politics. It's much better than that. But now how the opponents, react to it, that is...
So you're saying even if it's political?
Even if it's political, it's a smart political move, I would say. It's a gracious political move.
But that visit by Pranab Da to the RSS headquarters is something the Congress has always used now. And of course, when we have these conversations, we forget that you were an active member of the same Congress party till 2021. Pranab Da, and you've pointed this out, at one AICC meeting, in fact, advocated for a ban on the RSS. Yes. Then he goes to the RSS headquarters. How do you explain that, and why do you think Modi has made a smart move on the political chessboard with this memorial?
No, I said if it is political.
If it is political.
So I do not know Mr. Modi's mind, but also on one hand, I would like to say that this I have genuinely seen and felt that there was a genuine bond between Mr. Modi and my father, which somehow went beyond politics. And it was there since many years, which I have written in my book. Even when Mr. Modi was not even the Gujarat Prime Minister. Even before that,
the Gujarat Chief Minister.
Sorry, Gujarat Chief Minister.
Yeah.
So not only the Prime Minister, but even before he became Gujarat Chief Minister, as a ordinary RSS pracharak, he would come to Delhi, stay for his work, stay in somewhere South Avenue, North Avenue area, and would often come across my father during the morning walks. And he told me that, I always felt like touching his feet, and I always did that. And that time, he didn't even know my name. Baba didn't even know my name. But I always did that, and he always spoke very kindly to me. So I don't know why I always felt this respect towards him. And my father, in one of his diaries, when Mr. Modi as Gujarat Chief Minister came to meet him when he was the president for the first time, so he wrote that Mr. Modi came to see me and he is a bitter critic of Congress and government policies. But somehow he seemed to have a strange soft corner for me, because in private, whenever he meets me, he always touches my feet and tells me that it gives him pleasure to do so. And this was told to me by Mr. Modi himself, कि मैंने हमेशा उनका पैर छुआ जब मुझे जानते भी नहीं थे तब से. So पता नहीं क्या.
आपने एक statement दिया.
So I think this is also something, beyond politics, their relationship,
a personal rapport. But you have called the RSS possibly more tolerant than your own former party, the Congress party. Can you explain that?
Yes. So when I said, when I heard during my father's RSS visit that my father once advocated banning of RSS. Of course, at that time, I was fully involved in Congress politics and I was quite swayed by the opinion that he shouldn't have gone. And I also tweeted against him.
You did not want your father.
I did not.
You criticized your father going to the RSS.
I criticized my father going to RSS. I fought with him. I was fighting with him so viciously. And
what did you say?
So angry. I said, what are you going? I gave him the same argument which was going in the Congress left circle, that by going to RSS, you are giving it legitimacy. So he said, who am I to give RSS legitimacy? The people of India have given RSS legitimacy by choosing one of the RSS pracharaks, as the Prime Minister of India with a massive mandate. And if you, that means Congress, that time I was in Congress, if you choose to ignore it, that will be at your own peril. My father, later on when I thought about this whole controversy, why I say that RSS, obviously, they knew that Pranab Mukherjee advocated its banning. Despite that, they reached out to him and they invited him for one of their annual program. So, isn't RSS in this particular case being more tolerant, and the credit goes to them, that they are inviting a person, they are reaching out to a person who advocated their banning? And as far as my father is concerned, when I look back at the whole episode, I think I behaved extremely immaturely. And Congress also later said after that his speech that Pranab Mukherjee showed mirror to Congress and all.
Mirror to RSS.
Mirror to RSS. And, Pranab Mukherjee actually spoke about Nehruvian philosophy, idea of nationalism, of constitutionalism, of pluralism, of liberalism, inclusivity, from RSS platform. So my father always believed in dialogues.
Yeah. So do you think you were wrong to oppose Pranab Da's visit to the RSS?
Absolutely. And in my book I wrote, I condemned myself very strongly. I said I behaved most stupidly. So I think my father, I also wrote that he might have made the Congress High Command upset, but definitely he did not betray Congress ideology. Rather, I also remember, I think every TV channel, live broadcast his speech. I think at that kind of circumstances, to give so much publicity to Congress ideology, and it's very easy to preach to a friendly audience.
Yeah.
But it's very difficult to, bat in an unfriendly, bad pitch. So my father had the courage to do that. So today people, when he say that just because, he went to RSS, that's why he's a Sanghi. So I would like to say that, when Rahul Gandhi hugged Narendra Modi in parliament, whom his mother called Maut Ka Saudagar, by that convoluted logic, then Rahul Gandhi should be seen as an accomplice of Narendra Modi. Because, he hugged and he talked about mohabbat and pyar and whatnot.
Yeah.
So, this is a very kind of silly kind of argument, This is a very silly kind of argument.
You expressed hurt that when Dada passed, the CWC of the Congress did not call a meeting. Your brother, with whom you don't have the best relations, it should be said that was because वो COVID का time था. But your experience was different. You said that you were told at that time that this is not the protocol, and you reminded the Congress party that when K.R. Narayanan had passed, Pranab Da himself drafted the resolution. How do you look at this whole controversy over how your father was treated when he died by the Congress party?
Let me take a little dig at my father. At my brother. Allow me to do that. He said this because now he wants to rejoin Congress. But when he went to TMC, and in my tweet, in my anger, I'm a very reactive person, so I
We're all like
do
that.
it.
We're all like that.
So I actually, quoted some interview, from his interview he had given when he had joined TMC, saying that they did not have any condolence meeting. Congress did not have any condolence.
He himself had said that.
So now he wants to join back Congress. All the best to him. But that's why. You see, COVID was there.
Yeah.
But what about a CWC through a Zoom? Yeah. Meetings were being held through Zoom. When after some time Tarun Gogoiji passed away, that time a condolence meeting for him was held through Zoom.
Yeah.
The issue is that my father was 5 years president. Before that, for 45 years, he was a very senior, stalwart leader of Congress. For nearly 30 years, he was involved, he was with CWC.
Yeah.
So that expectation should be there, and also there are, certain norms, conventions of the grand old party. So anyway, that is the time I was told that for presidents, it's not done. President is
Because
above.
he was president of the
Yeah,
country.
that's why. So
So
much
president
later,
is above politics.
Yes. So much later, when I started reading my father's diaries, so I read that when K.R. Narayanan ji passed away, so that time a condolence meeting was held, and my father only drafted the message.
Why do you think the
condolence
Congress
message.
did not call this CWC?
I really do not know. I mean, I do not know whether it was deliberate or a sheer loss of institutional memory. That they didn't even know that what are the conventions of the grand old party. And which itself is a very sad state of affairs. Of course, my father knew, but other than Pranab Mukherjee, was there nobody in Congress, who could say that, no, this has been done before for presidents or,
Do you think it's because by the end of his life he had would you call it a hostile relationship with the Gandhi family?
No, I don't think it was any hostile relationship, because even after his RSS visit, Sonia Gandhi ji came to, meet him a few times.
Yeah.
And also she personally wrote a very nice, very heartwarming letter to me.
Yeah.
There were a lot of individual condolences, there is no doubt about it. But the issue is there is a difference between an individual condolence and institutional condolence,
So you felt hurt?
So I felt when I came to know about this, at that time, the hurt was far more because of your father's loss.
Correct.
So that time I was confused. And when I was told that it's not done for the president, I said, maybe. But when I came to know about that it was done for K.R. Narayanan, and perhaps, so that time I was quite hurt.
You have criticized Rahul Gandhi for going on a year-end break when the country was still in the phase of national mourning for Dr. Manmohan Singh. The Congress also reacted saying that final ceremony where the ashes are collected for Dr. Singh, the family had wanted privacy. Do you stand by your criticism of Rahul Gandhi?
Fair enough. The family might be, wanting their privacy. Fair enough. Absolutely fine. But when the nation was in mourning, the leader of opposition, goes on a trip abroad, which happened to be coinciding with the New Year celebration. And the leader of opposition is going while the national mourning is on for a very, very senior leader of his own party. When my father passed away, of course, people came from Congress, they came to pay their condolences, they went off, but it was during COVID period. There are many things, Barkha, that after passing away, there are many things you have to take care of. So I had to do everything on my own, to be very honest. But I don't grudge anybody that, because it was COVID time. So now there is no COVID. So if Dr. Manmohan Singh's family, they want their privacy, I respect that. But still, I think Rahul Gandhi should not have gone abroad now, even if he was just sitting here. And because, politics is also a game of perception. And Rahul Gandhi's disappearing acts and going abroad, it has become a stuff of legend.
Yeah.
I think he should develop some sensitivity about this, how it is being perceived.
Yeah. Dr. Singh's passing brought back the memory of the Ordinance Rao. So there is an ordinance that is brought in to change a verdict that talks about automatic disqualification from Parliament and the Assembly for conviction.
Yeah.
This was widely seen to be done to protect Lalu Prasad Yadav.
Yeah.
Your own father, Pranab Mukherjee, was against it.
Yes.
But Dr. Mukherjee was abroad. Rahul Gandhi objected to it.
Dr. Singh was abroad.
I'm sorry. Dr. Manmohan Singh was abroad on his last foreign trip to America. And Rahul Gandhi holds a press conference in India. And famously, he doesn't tear up the actual ordinance, but he holds up a piece of paper and he says this ordinance should be torn and thrown away. In your book, which was based on your father's diaries, you talk about how your father was very angry with Rahul Gandhi. And I think if I remember, the line in your book was that Pranab Das said that this is arrogance and this shows a kind of lack of political acumen. Can you talk about that moment?
Yeah, actually, I was the one, who broke the news of Rahul Gandhi's trashing the ordinance
To your father?
To my father. And I have never seen him getting so angry in such a long time. His face became red and he started shouting at me as if I had done that. And he said, what does he think he is? Who does he think? He's not even a member of cabinet. How can he, when the prime minister is abroad, how can he trash his own government's decision? And who is he to do it? So anyway, he was very angry. Then much later, after his passing away, when I read the entry of that night, so he wrote that Rahul Gandhi told this, he gate crashed press conference held by Ajay Makan and trashed the ordinance. And this boy has all the arrogance of his Gandhi Nehru lineage without their political acumen.
Right.
So that was the
quote in the
yeah. And imagine, how can, at that time, firstly, he was vice president, but he was not a member of the cabinet. And if any other leader of Congress would have dared to do such a thing, would he have been allowed to just get away scot-free? So this is the arrogance. You are trashing. This is not only just lack of political acumen.
Rahul Gandhi...
And later, I
believe Rahul Gandhi apologized to Dr. Manmohan Singh later. That's according to media accounts. And he calls Manmohan Singh his guru and his mentor. How do you reconcile that with what happened with the ordinance?
Well, that is for him to answer. Yeah. How does he do it? That showed his arrogance, his political immaturity. And, another thing I would just like to continue, that later on from within Congress, I heard that, Rahul Gandhi supposedly tried to convince his party colleagues, including cabinet, that, ordinance shouldn't be passed. But when he could not do that, he did this thing.
And what's important to note is that your father was also against this ordinance.
Yes, he also advised. But, when I repeated this argument to my father, he said, Rahul Gandhi, being in politics for so many years and being in such a powerful position, cannot convince his colleagues through logic without getting into such theatrics. Then perhaps politics is not his calling.
He said that?
He said that. And I wrote it in my book. That, why to get into, yes, he was in a very powerful position. But if you could not, then have the solid arguments, the logic, behind it to convince your colleagues. You just can't insult your own government and just before the elections.
The Lok Sabha elections seemed to suggest that Congress was rebuilding itself. Then there came a series of defeats in the assemblies. And in Delhi, the Congress doesn't seem to be really in the game. Do you think that the Congress has a leadership problem?
Yes, I definitely think that. Barkha, politics is not just a one election win to election defeat game. It's a long-term strategy. Since 2024, we are seeing Congress absolutely going down. And Lok Sabha election, 99 seats in 2024. Very nice. I was also happy. But look then what happened at Maharashtra, Haryana. The issue is that Rahul Gandhi has been the face of Congress for so many years. And we all know that though Mallikarjun Kharge ji is the president, and with all due respect to him, but we all know who
calls the
shots. Now there has to be some accountability. And can it be possible that in any other, forget about political party, but in any other, organization, that the topmost leadership and the face of the party is failing now for more than a decade?
They will say the Lok Sabha result is not failure, it's improvement.
That's why I say,
it brought the Prime Minister below a majority. That would be the Congress argument.
Yes, definitely. They are most happy and they are most welcome, to go ahead with this line. Whenever Congress wins, it is always Rahul Gandhi's victory. Whenever Congress loses, it's always somebody else's fault. So with this kind of mindset, how can you revive a party? Can you revive a party, with what is the long-term strategy? They are alliances. Fair enough.
Yeah.
Fine. You are doing alliances. Now look at what's happening in India bloc is totally imploding. For Delhi election, Mamata Banerjee and Akhilesh Yadav, they have supported Mr. Kejriwal. So there is no proper, that doesn't seem to be any proper strategy even for holding the alliance together.
What about Priyanka Gandhi? Do you have any different
I don't have any didn't have any interaction
even
with
when
her.
you were active in the Congress party?
No, because
do you ever regret leaving the Congress?
Not at all.
And would you join the BJP?
No way. No way. Not at all. And, I realized that I am not meant for politics. I had my stint. I enjoyed. I learned a lot. But I am not, meant for this. And particularly today's politics, when the discourse has become so personal and so bad and so nasty.
After your book came out.
Yeah, after my book came out, the way I was trolled so badly. And the saddest part is...
You wrote a letter to Rahul Gandhi.
I wrote an open letter to Rahul Gandhi. Not a single senior Congress leader condemned it. They could have said, they could have tweeted that, Sharmistha, we do not agree with what you are saying, giving media statements against Congress. We don't agree. But Pranab Da was a very senior leader of the party, and the kind of, languages being used against him in our name, in Congress's name, we don't support that. That's not Congress ideology.
Yeah. But that didn't happen.
That didn't happen. And Barkha, I would also like to tell you, I don't know how far it is true. I don't know. But some senior, somebody I trust to be very clued in, nobody political, told me that the direction has come from Rahul Gandhi's office itself.
To troll you.
To troll me and my father. So if this is true, and if this is Congress politics now, I don't even want to call it Indian National Congress. This is perhaps Rahul Congress. When I joined politics, the idea of Congress I had, even what I heard from my father, my grandfather, what I read in the history books, it's very different from what is being practiced today,
Tell me the relationship between your father and Sonia Gandhi and your father and Manmohan Singh. I want to talk about both. In your book, which I think, I encourage everybody to go back and read, based on your father's diaries, there's always been this rumor that one of the reasons that Sonia Gandhi was not fully comfortable with Pranab Da is because he had aspirations to become Prime Minister. And there's a long conversation about how after Indira Gandhi is assassinated, did that rumor start then? Is that when Pranab Da had aspirations? Your book talks about that. It says that was a story that was spread against him by Ghani Khan and so on. My question is, do you think Pranab Da felt betrayed that Dr. Manmohan Singh, with no disrespect to him, full respect to him, who was somebody who had reported to Pranab Da was much more his senior, was chosen as Prime Minister by Sonia Gandhi and not your father? And even when he wanted to be Vice President, that didn't work out for him. Even the portfolios he wanted, he first got defense. So did he feel betrayed and let down by Sonia Gandhi?
Well, these all three things are different.
Yeah.
Yes, when he was... Firstly, he realized long before, that, he cannot be the Prime Minister. There are various reasons for that. And
what is the reason?
Firstly, he was not really a mass leader, of course, Dr. Manmohan Singh. And also, he knew that after Indira Gandhi, he lacked in that trust quotient with the Gandhi family. And in fact, before 2004, the Lok Sabha election before that, when Atal Bihari Vajpayee came to power, and Dr. Manmohan Singh contested from South Delhi.
Correct. The only Lok Sabha election.
Only Lok Sabha. Yes. So that is the time my father wrote in his diary that Dr. Manmohan Singh is contesting. He's a very good candidate, and in all probability he will win. In case Congress win, he is going to be the face of the... he's going to be most probably the Prime Minister.
He knew it from then.
Yeah, so there was no question of, if there is, and he told some journalists, Bengali journalists, that from Sonia Gandhi, I did not have any expectation, and if there is no expectation, there is no
disappointment.
Disappointment as well.
But that's about being Prime Minister. What about when he thought he would be Vice President or the portfolios?
Yes, about Vice President, he was a bit disappointed. he was quite disappointed.
So who blocked it?
And I don't know who blocked it.
Sonia Gandhi didn't agree.
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, he was not. And that time, P.V. Narasimha Rao told him that, Pranab, it's too early for you to quit active politics. Vice president. Baba wanted to become vice president also because he's the chairperson of Rajya Sabha.
Correct.
So he said, I would have been the chairperson of Rajya Sabha and all. So, but that time, P.V. told him that, and he was surprised, with defense. I mean, and he told me...
Because he had conveyed that he wanted home or finance to Mrs. Gandhi.
Yes. But,
Why do you think Sonia Gandhi did not trust your father?
I don't know. One thing I think, which I also wrote, and it started from Indiraji also, my father has a very strong mind of his own. And, he would speak very strongly in party forums, either for what he believed or what he felt he couldn't do. And it's very difficult to ignore his arguments, because it will be, he was absolutely thorough in his homework. He would really prepare the case very well. So during Indiraji's time, Indiraji many a times would listen to him, and when she would just tell him that, okay, you said what you had to say, now go and do whatever I want you to do, that kind of a thing. And Indiraji was, of course, perhaps Indiraji never felt any kind of challenge from such a, young...
But you think Sonia Gandhi did?
It started happening from Rahul Gandhi's, I have written time is too short. From Rajiv Gandhi's time. So this whole rumor was there that my father wanted to become...
They're all on the plane together.
Yeah. So that's...
There is talk that Pranab Mukherjee wants to be interim prime minister.
That is later Rajiv Gandhi himself said that, no, this is not the right thing. But I think, in a very personality, family-driven political culture, people are little worried about... the leadership is little worried about people who have a very strong mind of their own, backed with a formidable combination of experience, knowledge, expertise. And Pranab Mukherjee all had that. That a person would never toe the line very blindly.
How was his relationship with Dr. Manmohan Singh?
Excellent.
I believe Manmohan Singh used to address him as sir in the
Yes, and my father had to, tell him quite a bit number of times that Dr. Singh, this is not right. So then he compromised it to, he gave, it's a Pranabji, the addressed as. So, they had been working together since 1970s. And it was my father, whenever he would talk about Dr. Singh, conversation would either begin or end with that he is a true gentleman. He is a thorough gentleman. So there was this tremendous respect between them.
What was his perception of how Dr. Singh was... There are two narratives in the Congress. One, that Sonia Gandhi totally respected Dr. Singh. There was no question of interference. The other is that, he was not treated as he should have been.
What I read from my father's diaries, I did not feel, contrary to the popular belief, I did not feel that Sonia Gandhi interfered in governance.
Okay.
She did not. But as far as the party and appointments are concerned, she had the final authority. But in a political culture where getting appointed in a plum post, whether it's a minister, whether it's a governor, so that is the ultimate moksha of a person.
Yeah.
So the power naturally, I think, tilts towards the person who has got that authority. Of course, she consulted Manmohan Singh and my father also.
Yeah.
But the ultimate authority is that. And as far as party is concerned, as far as the alliance is concerned, but what I did not have any feeling that she interfered in the government.
What was your father's biggest moment of hurt or anger in dealing with the Congress, or in particular in dealing with the family?
Well, I think in dealing with Congress, his moment of hurt came after the reaction of his RSS visit.
Right.
And though after that, I remember, I also tweeted against him and Ahmed Patel and many senior leaders. But after that, I know Ahmed Patel, came and met him and said, sorry, Dada, मुझे ऐसे नहीं करना चाहिए था, मुझे आपका speech के लिए wait करना चाहिए था. So again, that is something my father was hurt a bit about it.
Yeah.
And otherwise, to be very, they're in such a long journey. Whenever when I read all his, I think 51 to 53 volumes of diaries. So there are many points of disappointments. There are many points of disagreements. There are incidents of sparks flying, cold shouldering, a lot of things. But after some time, they seem to be back to normal. And my father always used to say that, you do not need to agree on everything every time. And that's the whole beauty of democracy. That's the whole beauty of dialogue.
But you feel that the Gandhi family could not fully adjust to your father's personality.
But
as a strong-minded person.
That is something, you need to ask them.
Yeah.
But I would like to say, yes, despite that, Indiraji, my father was like, he always maintained till the end of his life that whatever he is because of Indira Gandhi.
Yeah.
And he was known as Indira Gandhi's blue-eyed boy.
Yeah.
But during Sonia Gandhi also, Sonia ji gave him tremendous amount of responsibility, both within the party and in the organization.
So did the decline start with Rahul Gandhi in a way?
Rahul Gandhi ka saath, I don't know. Baba ka kya equation
But there was a story in your book, which I remember, where Rahul Gandhi mixes up the time of his appointment with Pranab.
Yes.
And then you tell us what happened.
His office, Rahul Gandhi one day walked in early in the morning when Baba was taking his morning walk. And anyway, nevertheless, he met him. And I heard this story from a ADC. Baba was president then. And it seems he was supposed to come at 8:30 in the 7:30 or 8:30 in the evening.
And he came in the
morning. And so I heard this story from the ADC and I asked my father about it. So he commented a bit sarcastically, if Rahul's office can't differentiate between AM and PM, how do they hope to run PMO one day? So my father was a stickler for protocol. You are just coming to meet the president and you can't make such a goof up, So, but that was a very light, I think he made it in a very light thing. But, like 3 criticism of Rahul Gandhi in my father's diary stand out. One is, of course, ordinance.
Yeah.
Second, his frequent visits abroad. And he pointed out, I think it was after 2014, the Congress anniversary, the flag hoisting ceremony at 28 January 2015, it would be. Rahul Gandhi was abroad and he wrote in his diary that at such a crucial moment of the party on such an important day, how can he not be present? And his frequent absences in this kind of very significant occasions, it raises questions in people's mind. So he observed that, he did that. And another entry he wrote that, Rahul is yet to mature politically. So, and that was also written somewhere in 2000, maybe 11, 12, something like that. So, one of the most astute politicians of his time, making a comment about a politician who is even younger than his son. What is wrong in that? What is wrong in that?
And he would keep telling Rahul to join the cabinet.
He would give that, you have to have some experience of the governance.
Yeah.
He would not do that. And then, of course, Rahul's sometimes, not so politically correct statements. And everything. So, I don't think, and especially after the trashing of the ordinance, I think that was a turning point when my father's faith in Rahul
Did you think at that time that Dr. Manmohan Singh should resign?
I didn't feel any...
He didn't put a diary entry on that?
No. But he wrote that Dr. Manmohan Singh was extremely upset and he wanted to resign, but Sonia Gandhi persuaded him not to.
And he was also very upset at how Mr. Rao, Narasimha Rao, PV Narasimha Rao was treated.
He was extremely upset how PV Narasimha Rao was treated. And this is one of the things which he talked about. Otherwise, he did not, before I joined politics, he did not talk about politics much.
Yeah.
So, but this is one thing that, how Sonia Gandhi treated by not allowing the mortal remains of not just a former Prime Minister, but a former Congress President, but not allowing his body to enter the Congress headquarters. That was absolutely uncalled for, not done. And then it seems Dr. Rao's family wanted to hold the funeral at Rajghat, but they were told to do it at Andhra Pradesh. And so that is one incident my father really perhaps could never forgive Sonia Gandhi for. And even, I think 2019 or early 2020 was the centenary year of P.V. Narasimha Raoji's birth centenary. And that is the time PCC was holding, the Telangana Pradesh Congress Committee. So my father wrote in his diary, again, he wrote that this is to eternal shame of Sonia Gandhi and her children, that they did not allow the body of a former president and Congress president and former prime minister to enter AICC. And the program should have been held. His PV's centenary program should have been held by AICC. But we all know that, and perhaps that is not being held because of Sonia Gandhi's antipathy towards him.
And all of this is documented in his diaries.
All of this is documented in his diaries, and all of this I have written
in the book.
In the book.
But tell me, you say that the Congress has a leadership problem. Do you believe that the Congress, the counter argument to that is that if there were no Gandhis, Gandhis are the glue that hold the Congress together? What
glue? We are saying Congress is not splitting, but Congress is withering away. So many leaders are leaving the party. The senior leaders have either been marginalized, they are not being given any party or any other responsibility, or they are sitting at home. So, so there is no split. Maybe if tomorrow there is a split, that will perhaps be better. But Congress is just withering away and shrinking. So where is the glue? What is that glue? That glue argument, yes, it was applicable before. But now, since last 10 years, we are seeing that Congress is just shrinking and literally withering away.
Congress supporters look at you and they say that you've changed your ideology, you're a traitor, you're a Sanghi.
Congress supporters, they themselves do not know what Congress ideology is. As I say that, have they even bothered to heard or read my father's speech at RSS, where he is quoting Pandit Nehru's version of nationalism. So Congress, is this tolerance? Is freedom of expression just when you are praising your leader, then you are allowed your freedom of expression. The moment you criticize, then you become a Sanghi. Is this inclusivity? Is this tolerance? So Congress supporters today, they don't even know what is Congress ideology. Their whole idea, this whole, cacophony, it stinks nothing but sycophancy. And I recently tweeted, again, it was one of my moments, and these phones are really bad. You just pick it up and write give it. So I said, all the best to Rahul Gandhi. If he actually wants to revive Congress with this bunch of sycophants and fools. I said, yes, vicious fools, something like that. But actually, do they understand, other than parroting, that what is tolerance? Tolerance. And in parliamentary democracy or any democracy, it is acceptance of the legitimacy of divergence of views, which might be different than yours, which might be totally different than yours. You might disagree, but you cannot say that it can't exist.
Yeah. I want to, in the end, talk about a little known story relatively. Mamata Banerjee and Dada. Very close initially, but she opposed, as it came out in your book, she opposed his bid, and we all remember being reporters at that time, his presidency. Why did she do it?
You have to ask her.
What do you think?
Why she did?
From your...
there has been, I read a couple of biographies of Mamata Banerjee, so to try to understand her point of view. So, as per them, that she held my father responsible for her not making her WPCC president and choosing Shomen Mitra instead. And
that was
that's
in
why,
the 90s.
Yeah. So I don't think that is the reason. So I really do not know, And when I remember when Mamata opposed, I said, why Mamata is doing it? So I said, kab kya karti hai in Bangla? He said, what she does when she does, only she knows. But ultimately, she will turn around. But because Baba also knew that, at that time, my father might not have been a mass leader, but the sentiment in Bengal was tremendous. For the first time in independent India, a Bengali is going to occupy the highest constitutional office.
Yeah.
So there was a tremendous sense of pride. So Mamata, being a politician, couldn't afford to go against that. So my father, also being the astute politician, he knew. And he never called her or asked for her support personally. He said, yes, of course, I would seek everybody's support, including Mamata's. So, but what I'm little sad about, Barkha, that in this current context, in the memorial thing, so far, I don't know today if something has happened, but so far there hasn't been any tweet or any statement about Pranab Mukherjee's memorial from Mamata Banerjee. And many senior Bengali journalists have pointed this out. Why this absence? So I really don't know, can the personal hatred go so deep, or is it just a total lack of apathy and total lack of grace in today's political scenario?
Has Mamata Di reached out to you since Dada passed?
No.
But when he died, she would have reached out at that time?
Not personally. But that time she gave bites and
so you're surprised that she hasn't commented on this memorial?
Yeah, I am surprised. I'm a bit surprised. And that shows perhaps even Congress's reaction, to this. They should have welcomed it open arms, and they should have, this is the problem with today's Congress. Instead of embracing their own legacy, their own people, they are just pushing them away.
Yeah.
They are pushing them away, and then later on they blame BJP that, BJP is trying to appropriate our legacy.
Yeah.
Congress is pushing its own away.
Yeah. So you feel Pranab Da has been disowned in the silence of the Congress on his memorial?
Yes, absolutely.
And by Mamata Banerjee.
And disowned is a very, strong word.
Or not respected, or not owned,
but
or not embraced.
Yeah, this is something, I think, as I say, that what is their intention, what is their motive behind it, I do not know. I don't want to answer. I don't have any answer for that. But I would like to say, yes, as a daughter, I'm a bit hurt. Also with Mamata Banerjee. And I find this, a total lack of grace in today's political scenario.
Strong words there, so let me end where I started. Why is Sharmistha Mukherjee not in politics?
Because I can't be in politics in this kind of environment. I grew up in a political family where I have seen that despite of fierce, debates in parliament, despite, their fierce opposing ideas about government policies, about ideologies, about everything, yet there was a degree of mutual respect between leaders across party line.
Yeah.
And there was these grace, these kind of protocols which were maintained. So and there was some decency in public discourse.
Yeah.
But now that is totally gone, so I can't see myself in this politics today. And I openly tell you, Barkha, I still am a believer of Congress ideology, of pluralism, of secularism, of constitutionalism, of tolerance, of diversity. But I think today's Congress is not practicing its own ideology.
Plainly spoken, Sharmistha, I hope the trolls don't come after you this time.
They will, trust me. but doesn't matter.
Always a pleasure. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.